through the pit, the shed here. Nice coolish autumn morning. Thought I'd do a quick video on my powerbox that I use with my astrophotography setup. Just something I built myself using components that are pretty easily available here in Western Australia. Yeah, let's get stuck in and have a bit of a look. Yeah, looks a bit, I don't know, he's just threw it together from some plywood and various bits and pieces. If you want to build one, just build it out of whatever you can manage. I'm not much of a cabinet maker, but I'll just give you the technical bits and pieces and where I got bits from, because it wasn't very difficult to build. Okay, first item down here is this is a 50 amp hour lithium battery that I built from cells that I got pre-loved from a place up in Welshpool that deals with mine site backup batteries and things like that, and when they've done their 3 years or so on site, they resell they check them and resell them. This case is not full. There's 4 3-volt cells in here to give a total of 12 volt 50 amp hour, and it is not particularly heavy. Can we see in the GoPro? It just plugs in the back here. Just plugs in the back with this Anderson connector that runs down to the battery. The main reason why I do that is because I've got several batteries. This is actually for the electric motor for my fishing kayak, but I just, why should it just sit there and not get used? So I have a set of batteries with Anderson connectors already wired onto them, and the input for this I made using an Anderson connector, so I could just grab whatever battery was available and stick in there. On the front here we have this entire panel is from Adventure Kings. It wasn't particularly expensive. I'll put a link up. It has the voltmeter, which is handy, especially again if you're remote and you want to know what your battery state is. This is reading 13.6 volts at the moment, higher than a normal lead acid battery because it's lithium. This is 2 USB ports, one of which is 2 amp. Let's get the magic shed glasses, and what do we got here? We've got a 1 amp and a 2.1 amp. In use in the field, I use the 2.1 amp port to power that monitor, the portable monitor that was featured in the last video. These two are standard 12 volt sockets, but they're the type that you can, if you have the right plug, you can put it in, give it a quarter of a turn and it locks in. And these are 2 Merit connectors, or Merit sockets, that I got from Jaycar. And under here we have 2 Anderson output connectors for output. Just unplug that, move the battery out. Good thing about the extra expensive lithium battery is it's nowhere near as heavy as a lead acid battery. Okay, so what I've done with this housing is for transport. It all just folds up. These are just 3D printed knobs on 8mm bolts. And the reason why I'm taking this apart is not only to show you the how I pack it up for transport, but also because it's easier to show you the gizzards. Whoops. And that folds down like that. Don't know if that's going to come out all right. And just so I don't lose them, I screw the knobs back in for transport purposes. You'll notice when I show you this close up, it's got a few extra holes in it because it was a bit of a prototype, and rather than completely rebuilding the box with some degree of perfection, I just essentially left it as it was. Now, this is the heart of it all here. I'll show you on the GoPro in a minute, but this is a 6-port distribution block from Jaycar. Just put that there so you can possibly see. So that's the Anderson input. This is the distribution block. How do you get this off again? Okay, so each port is fused, and I've got like some additional fuses in here. Some of the sharp-eyed amongst you will notice that some of these ports have 2 fuses on, and that is simply due to laziness on my part, because the King's panel came with a wiring harness that already had fuses, and rather than cut and solder and blah blah blah, I just reused the same ports. Yeah, so Jaycar has these, I think, in like 4, 6 and 8 ports, relatively easy to wire together. I don't know how well this will show up, but that's the back of the all the ports in there, and that won't show up at all. But yeah, this is handy because if a fuse blows, allegedly, I haven't blown a fuse yet, allegedly an LED will come on to show you which fuse there is, and I have a little plastic container of all different fuses that I have in the back of the car. So if I'm out anywhere and pop a fuse, then the car is right there. I could just change a fuse. But bearing in mind, like, these Anderson connectors can handle 50 amps, and I've put fairly substantial fuses in. Well, they're 10 amp fuses. I shouldn't be popping any fuses because nothing I run on this needs the full 10 amp capacity. So that's basically it. In the description, I will put links to the Adventure Kings panel and the Jaycar distribution box, and you can just whip something up. If that's any good to you, you can just whip something up that uses these relatively cheap components. Thank you for watching, and yeah, see you in the next video.